rolling through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless. Burning the bridge that keeps us. I'm here and I'm feeling exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still, hanging in the balance. Not the life I want to live, I want to take it all. Standing tall, fear I weighed the person you are. Oh, break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.
Hello, everybody. Waiting on Kendall. How is everybody? Hello, my beautiful mods. 420 and Rebrand. Thank you, ladies, so much for being here. Hi, Stevie. Hi, Ruby Magic. Welcome. Hope y'all are having a beautiful weekend. It's been one of those days for me and Kendall. I'll start by telling you mine. Maybe she'll get here and get in the next seconds and can give hers. So by 8:30 this morning, my beautiful 95-pound fuck around and find out German Shepherd Jovi, who is 95 pounds of lap puppy, had a tummy ache. And we had already spent time outside, and he came in, and then all of a sudden wanted back outside. I barely got him out before he went everywhere. And then not long later, he just got unimaginably sick, all in my living room. I'm trying to get him outside, and he had made it to the kitchen. I didn't realize he had gotten sick in the kitchen at that point. So I get him outside, I bring him back in, and then I go get the mop, or actually I went to go get my Swiffer so I could just do a spot mop on it before and then I found where he puked in the kitchen on the Swifter. So I just cleaned up with towels, and they're in the washer, and then I can't find my mop because I guess the storm took it somewhere. I don't know where the mop is. It was sitting on the porch and now it's not there. So I had to go get a mop. Had to mop. And he had 2 squeaky toys in his stuffs. And so I don't know where the squeaky toy pieces come from, because the 2 squeaky toys I bought are intact, and I have not seen any murdered stuffy toys. So I have no idea what all happened. And that was all by 8:45 this morning. Oh, yeah, Rebrand. Yeah, I've been there. Or you hear it going and you can't figure out where they're at. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was my morning with him. And then poor Kendall was in the middle of getting stuff together because she has worked her ass off on this tonight. and her dog steps on the computer and deletes all of her work. And Johnny had just got in trouble the other day, and I was, oh, poor Johnny. And she said, don't poor Johnny. He got in the garbage and he's being bad. And then today I'm like, okay, Johnny, I can't defend you anymore, dude. So her and I have had a very fun time with puppy dogs today. It has been hilarious. Not, but you know, it was definitely a time. And as y'all can see, I went back to StreamYard. I can't do Restream. I tried so hard today to mess with things on Restream to have it for tonight, and I'm like, it's too complicated. I'm going back to StreamYard. That's it. I'm not fighting with it. God, I've got my coffee. Stevie says I've got my coffee, my cup of ice, and my cigarettes ready for this. I've got water. And I've got some Gorditos. I had the munchies, and so I got me some Gorditos. Oh, look, there she is.
I'm so sorry.
Well, I just gave them the story of Jovi's nice, disastrous time before 8:45, and that's what Johnny did.
I come over to eat with the kids, and I had plenty of time, and then we got talking about their Caribbean thing, and they were telling me stories, and they're in the middle of telling me a story, and I look at the clock. I'm like, oh God, I gotta go. They're just dying laughing at me. Feels like I've only been here like 20 minutes, and I've been here like for an hour and a half waiting. We just got carried away with these stories.
Do we have flamingo stories for updates?
Girl,
did we talk about the flamingo thing on here? I don't remember. No, I think that was in a private conversation. You'll have to share with me later.
Go ahead and share it. I'm still trying to get everything plugged up.
Okay, so
I'll be right here.
It's a fun story. Giving people time to get in here. Her daughter went on a cruise, right? Her and her husband went on a cruise, and before they even leave the
my very naive daughter.
Huh?
I said my very naive daughter.
Very naive daughter. So fun. This is so funny. My God, we laughed so hard we had tears. Like not even funny. We laughed so hard. So she's had a few to drink, right? They're doing like you do on a cruise. You're sitting there with everybody. Huh?
Mason.
Oh, you're talking to Mason. They're having some drinks. She's a little bit tipsy. And the drink that she ordered the same drink as the guy. His wife loves Friends, and her daughter had the Friends backpack, and then her daughter has all of her Taylor Swift bracelets on because she's a Swiftie, and the girl likes Swiftie, and so they're bonding and they're having talks, and the husband is a cop, like his son-in-law is a cop, and so they're all bonding, right? They're having this amazing time, and he's giving them giving her tidbits about the drink and how to order it where it's not as bad because she got the one with tequila instead of the rum. And they're extremely, extremely friendly, right? Extremely friendly. And he has a pink flamingo on his shirt. So, and I have never heard the pink flamingo. You guys, I mean, we've heard the upside down pineapple, right, guys? You all know what the upside down pineapple is. If you don't, people doing the upside down pineapple means they're a swinger. So, when you look it up, Kendall's telling me about it because she looked it up. And
I did not know that pink flamingos was. I knew about the upside down pineapple, but I never heard about pink flamingos.
I didn't either. And so she looks it up, and so I'm looking it up. I'm like, wait, I've never heard this. I look it up, and so I'm reading to her, and it says upside down pineapples and flamingos and black ring. So if you're wearing any of those things, guys, people are going to think you're a swinger. And she says, oh my God, Tyler has a black ring on because he can't wear his metal wedding band because of his job. So he wears a black silicone kind of ring. And so we're laughing. We start laughing as she gets a hold of Amber. He's wearing his ring and the other guy had the same ring on.
Well, she was about to lose service, and she told me, she's like, at 3:00, Mom, she said, we're going to lose service. We're leaving the dock and we'll lose service. They said around 3. So I'm racing against the clock to get back to tell her that, does he have a black ring? Because when we looked it up, it tells about the black ring. And she's like, I don't know. And I said, wait, does Tyler have does he have his real wedding band on, or does he have his work silicone wristband on. She said the silicone. He never wears his real one. And I said, well, it's the black one, right? And she said, yeah. And I'm just dying laughing. So I tell her the whole thing about the black ring too. And I know she's losing service. And she's like, well, we're supposed to meet them back downstairs for drinks. And then we're going to go have dinner together. And she said, they're real fun. And I said, yeah, I bet they are.
Real fun.
I bet they are fun. So right as she's losing service, she calls me back and she's flipping out. And the phone's like breaking up while she's trying to tell me that, oh my God, he's got a black ring on.
Come get me. Come get me.
So it was hilarious. But they did swing. On their honeymoon was probably not a good time to even they have never had that kind of conversation. And I was like, yeah, your honeymoon's probably, not the time to have that conversation. But they ended up making really good friends with the people. So okay, I'm all set up finally.
Lee Brand says clearly I don't get out enough.
Girl, I didn't know either. I knew about the pineapples.
I had no idea about the flamingo.
I
And
did
then
not
as I'm
either.
reading it, I'm like, now everywhere I go, I'm going to be looking to see if people have black rings on. I don't know. We may have to ask.
What?
Stevie says Ken's promise ring is black. I bet Gypsy didn't know that.
Okay, now my internet's not working on my laptop.
Uh-oh.
It's always something. I swear, it's always something.
We went left field. Hey, 420, my doll. Boston, I haven't a clue what you're speaking about.
Oh, come on, computer. Work with me.
We had a very good laugh at Amber's expense the other day. I'm not gonna lie.
So she comes back with these Louis Vuitton billfold, a bag, a belt, and something else. And I walk in, I see it sitting on the table, and I'm like, seriously, Louis Vuitton, seriously. And she's dying, like she's like leading me on. She's like, Mom, it was a once in a lifetime thing. She's like, when will I ever spend that much money in one place? And I'm just looking at her like, that's so ridiculous. And then Tyler, I'll go outside to debate with Tyler, and Tyler's like, they got it some shops in some port in the Caribbean, and it's a knockoff. She said, and he said, she doesn't want you to know. And I'm like, does she really think that I think she mortgaged my house to buy this Louis Vuitton purse that's as big as a suitcase?
So Nickolas says, good evening, everyone. I never heard of the flamingos. I have a yard full of them.
Do you ever have the occasional knock on the door?
You know, the thing is everybody because I wanted to get some cute flamingos, but now I'm like, wait a minute. No, thank you. Maybe they're wearing flamingos on a cruise. Maybe that's what it was. Let's hope, guys, because I see so many flamingos. People are going to be burning their flamingos.
She said that it rained a lot, but that the days that they were at port, she lucked up because the days at port were nice, but the whole time they were on the ship, it rained. I said, yeah, I'm sure it did. It's the hurricane season.
So did you see the background picture I made? Can you see it with us up here?
I do not understand. My laptop won't connect to the internet. It's supposed to connect automatically when I come up here.
It's Johnny's fault.
That little shit. Little shit. People will not believe. I mean, you know, because you practically live with me. What an asshole he is. I did not know why it's not connecting. So he, most of y'all know that my daughter lives in the house that we raised them in. And
well, Stevie, the flamingos on the swim trunks may be an issue.
Come on, connect.
Okay, so
Anyway, tell y'all.
while we're getting ready, are we showing the autopsy as we're reading from it?
I don't care.
Because I didn't think about that part. I've uploaded everything else you've sent me but that.
I mean, I don't care. Probably, I mean, I do better when I'm watching someone, I do better seeing it, but I'm a visual learner, so I don't know.
So Ruby Magic says, Kendall, I'm sorry you thought that I was trying to shadow ban you. I honestly didn't know that if you like and repost so much, it would shadow ban you. Please expect my apologies for that.
Of course. I thought you were a troll coming after me, because trolls will do that.
I had no idea that was a thing.
Oh, yeah. And there is people that will go do it just to get you shadow banned.
So what does shadow ban mean? Does that mean I can't watch from the outside? I have to click into the live?
It means that your stuff's not going to show up on the FUP. It's not going to be pushed out to as many people. When I first opened my account, I used to get 3,000 to 4,000 views on a video, and I got shadow banned so much that I barely get 200 or 300 now.
See,
and it's just because I shadow banned. Yeah.
Now I've got the hiccups.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I appreciate you explaining it. But I didn't remember ever seeing your name, so I thought, oh, here comes another one after me. There's always somebody after me.
Well, and we're the bad ones.
Apology accepted.
We're the bad ones.
I love being bad.
Oh, I have things to tell you, and I can't talk about it publicly yet. Dang it. So the other person.
We got problems. We got problems.
Your computer ain't open.
I can't get it to. It says, I click on the internet. I just had it at the tiny house, and it says no access available. I'm at the big house where the modem's at. Why is it not working?
Maybe restart your computer.
Yeah, I didn't try that once. Let me try it again.
Did
I block you? Ruby, did I block you on TikTok? If I did, I will unblock you. I'm a bad blocker.
Salty says, I have been looking forward to spending this time with you ladies all day. Thank you, Salty. We've been ready to do this, and Kendall has dug in, guys. She said yes, you did block her.
I'll take care of it. Brandy, remind me, because you know my brain. But I will. I'll take care of that.
I'm trying to not laugh. Did you want me to remind you? Okay.
What the hell is going on? Let me just completely shut it down and back on. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah, and Ruby says restart your modem. I mean, I have it all on. I mean, you don't have to get online to read, huh? Or do you?
No, I mean, I just had an outline to make it a little bit more organized, but I mean, I've lived and breathed it for 2 weeks. I think I could probably wing it. I just don't want to.
You can read your outline from there. I mean, I've got everything. If you need me to have something, just send it from your phone and I can upload it. Because I have all of the clips. We have 9 clips and those few pictures that you sent me. I don't know if you had any other pictures you needed to send me.
No.
Did you have any other AI pictures done up? But that one?
I have 2.
I have the one that I put in members, and then I have the house one that you sent me.
Oh, the outline?
Yeah. Was it the outline?
What the hell? I don't know. No, well, I have the neck, which is I mean, it's done enough. I'm just super picky. Now my mouse ain't working. Come on. Kidding me. Okay, here we go. Mouse is working now. Let's see if the internet pops.
See, the powers that be do not want us to do this, guys. That's okay. We're going to power through.
And we've had so many people ask us to do it, because me and Brandy weren't going to do it because so many other people's done it. But we had people come to us and wanted us to do it. Well, am I going to be able to even get in Microsoft?
Stevie says, question for you, Brandy. Yes, ma'am. Ask away.
Hi, Stevie. I didn't know Stevie was here. Girl, I ain't talked to you in a while.
Your laptop trying to connect to where you just left from instead of where you are. It's all the same internet, just a different.
It's all the same. I have a tiny house behind my daughter's big house, and it's so close. I use her modem.
So Stevie wants to know, what has been the most accurate reading of the autopsy that you have seen so far?
Is that for me?
It's for both of us. That's what I'm going to go with. Stevie, if you texted her, she says she texted you today. She has been glued.
I didn't get anything from you.
Ruby, ask away. So Stevie, if I'm all honest, I have not listened to everybody. I've listened to Natasha's because she had it first. That's been it. Because I wanted to look at it and get my own opinion.
Yeah, I've heard Natasha's. Natasha's makes a lot of sense to me.
I've heard
there's
bits and
several
pieces of Fancy's. I have not listened to. I haven't heard anybody else's at all. Ours.
I don't agree. I don't agree with a lot of Fancy's, but me and her do agree on certain points. That the crime scene doesn't make sense.
Journey made it. Journey always sends me the most uplifting messages, and I so appreciate them.
I'm gonna move to Australia where she's at. My kid's talking about moving to Australia and driving a truck in Australia.
My dream vacation is to go to Australia. It's my dream trip. And when we go, we'll just go visit Journey.
Stevie, I promise I didn't say. I was thinking about you today, and I was like, why didn't she talk to me? I guess I could text her. I've been so busy. Brandy is a slave driver, dude.
Well, let's face it, Stevie, I get mad over certain things, and Fancy knows this, so I'm not starting shit, people. And so I try not to listen too much because I do get angry because we don't agree. Her and I do not agree on this case at all, ever. And it just isn't going to end well if we continue to talk about it. Ruby says, how did Nick lock her in the bathroom? Here in the UK, locks are on the inside of the bathroom and outside. I just don't get it, as he then would have put the door on the catch, not locked.
He didn't. He didn't lock her in the bathroom.
I think he said lock yourself in the bathroom.
But Gypsy, when she did her interrogation, and this is the part when she was really lying, she was making up this big story in the beginning, and you could tell as she was telling that story, she was kind of making it up as she goes. And she was saying that Nick put her in the bathroom and locked her in the bathroom. And I think the detective, I'm not sure, I haven't watched all of hers yet, but I'm sure the detective, I could be wrong about this.
And if I'm honest, it's been a very long time since I've watched the whole interrogation.
Yeah, but I think that was just something that she had said in the very beginning of the interrogation, when she definitely was, you could tell she was making it up as those parts as she went, kind of on the fly, and she just didn't catch that he couldn't lock you in the bathroom. But
Lauren says Fancy's reading was the worst I heard, just because of how inaccurate she was and couldn't even pronounce the words correctly. Ivory Rose Nose did really well. Natasha's decent, and Without a Crystal Ball was poor. I, in my honest opinion, I feel the ones that have the biggest axe to grind with the Blanchards probably intentionally see it differently. I'm going to put it that way. That's not throwing shade. That is, in my honest opinion, that's just how I see those people.
I also think that I don't understand how anybody can look at this autopsy and look at it with an open mind, not a flawed way of belief, and can turn it all around to Gypsy. Because the one thing, I'm like, we know that Nick wouldn't have been there for her. We're never going to change that. He would not have been there if it wasn't for her. But how people are taking the autopsy, and you're not hearing nothing about Nick. It's all about Gypsy. Like, this autopsy shows that this was not just a murder. this was brutal. And I think and like, I'm all for Nick, getting a fair trial and all of that. I think they did him very wrong when it comes to the autism. In fact, today, as I watched the actual court and listened to their professionals give their description of his autism, I think they're way off course. But the autopsy definitely shows how brutal Nick was when he went in that room. And to me, there's no other explanation except Nick committed the crime. The crime itself, he did. There's too much evidence to say someone else did it. There's too much proof that we know for sure that to say that anyone else did
we managed to get our hands on it, and I was supposed to look at that last night and did not get to a handbook. What is the handbook called?
The Medical Examiner's Handbook for 2024. We got the new one. They sent me the new one.
And
there's the autopsy was very incomplete. Very incomplete.
According to what you found in the handbook.
According to what I found in the handbook. We've got a few videos that we're going to show, and I'm sure some of y'all have seen it over and over. So I picked out pieces that goes with the autopsy or corresponds with stuff that we know for sure that's going to be that is in the autopsy. One thing that I think could have helped stop some of these conspiracies is they bagged DeeDee's hands. They bagged her hands. Nick says in his interrogation that DeeDee grabbed a hold of him, and he even makes the motion with his hands like she grabbed a hold of his body. Didn't say she was slapping at him or anything like that, but that she grabbed a hold of his body and was saying, "Who are you?" and then was calling for Gypsy. So he had a little bit of a back and forth with DeeDee. And why didn't they, if they bagged her hands and they went through the step of bagging her hands, why didn't they test what was under her nails to see if there was anything under her nails? Because that's one thing everyone goes on, is that DeeDee was already dead when Nick got there. I mean, I don't believe that, but a lot of people run with that. Especially the Gypsy haters, they run with that when a lot of people don't believe that Nick has lied, that Nick has told the truth. Once he got past that first lie that him and Gypsy was going to tell, they believe everything else he said is truth, but they don't believe the parts that they don't want to believe. And he has a back and forth with DeeDee. She asked him, "Who are you?" and grabs at him, according to Nick.
Well, I cannot find where I put the freaking autopsy report.
There's a big, a lot of people also. And this is not.
Back to chat in just a second, guys. I'm looking for something.
And this is not, when I say other people, it's literally not directed at one person. I'm talking about just, we've all got our own opinions, right? So this is not directed at anyone. But there's been a lot of talk about blood. Where's the blood? Doing a deep dive on the blood, people are forgetting about that once DeeDee's heart stopped, the blood stopped pumping. Now, it would still pool from like the liver, and that, but once the heart stopped, the blood in her veins and her arteries would have stopped too. So the missing blood, because they want to say that this is what was, was the bleed out. This is this many milliliters, and there's not that much on the bed. The top of her nightgown is saturated, so we don't know how many milliliters that is. But we're forgetting about the pints that's still coursing, well, not coursing, but come to a halt, but that was still in her veins and arteries. So there is no blood missing, not in my opinion. And Brandy and a couple other people know that I have an acquaintance that is a medical examiner, I am not allowed to ask them any specific any specific questions on this case. They're not allowed to do that. I can ask blanket questions, like if somebody got stabbed and this is how much blood is, inside their abdominal cavity, and there's not much in the crime scene, where would the rest of the blood be? So I can ask questions like that, and none of us were considering, or none of them that I've heard is considered about the blood that's, is still in her body. And it's what, a little over a gallon?
I think that's what we come up with. There people came in that I missed. Oh, hold on. Where'd it go? S.O. Connolly, hello. Somehow or another, you slipped in there in between people, and I missed you. I'm so sorry. Inside the Purple Purse, same with you. Missed you and Candace Shiplin. Sorry, guys. I missed y'all when y'all were right in some of these questions here, and I just totally missed you. I wasn't deliberately skipping, so I apologize. Let's see. We had a question. Stevie says, before you start, I have another question, but don't fall obligated to answer. Okay. Hopefully you asked. Let's see. Ruby says, I am open-minded to this case as I'm a newbie, but I do feel that there is a lot of confusion around the case. Absolutely. Stevie, how the fuck can a person consider themselves an author or be proud of the book when it's just transcript of an old podcast? Is that the question you want me to answer, Stevie? Are you trying to get me fighting with people? This is where Kendall says, behave.
That's her last name, Stevie Behave.
I'm gonna make a little video that we pop up on the screen that just says Stevie Behave.
Stevie Behave.
Stevie.
Behave.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. We're gonna slap her hand. Slapping her hand. Stevie says, in Kentucky, they only release autopsy, death certificate, and toxicology to the next of kin. It's not public and can't be purchased. Huh. Every state is going to be different. I'm trying to think of how to word this. And like Kendall was saying, we're not trying to say any certain person's lying or stretching or wrong or any of that. What we're doing is showing this autopsy and the diagrams that Kendall's done up and what we have found and why we
what
believe
our opinions are. Yeah, what our opinions are.
Straight up.
And this is strictly our opinions. We're not trying to prove anyone else wrong. This is just our view on it.
Well, Stevie, let's talk about that separately from here. Can we do that?
So I had not, who was it that said they're a newbie?
That was it Ruby?
I think so.
Ruby.
So I'm kind of a newbie too, because I come in January. And when I come in in the middle of the drama, right? And there was nobody.
Candace says she's new.
Candace.
So welcome.
I come in when all the drama was taking place and hopped right on board and played that game. And I didn't get the building blocks of the case, right? Because nobody's talking about the case. There's a lot of conspiracies about the case. There's a lot of back and forth about the case that don't make sense. And there's very few people that wants to talk about the real facts of the case. And I'm not talking about the new stuff that's come along. I'm talking about the day it happened, the stuff leading up to it, that those are people like me that never followed the case didn't know. And a lot of people always had a problem with me going in Natasha's, but I would go in there when Natasha was talking about the case itself. I would go in there and listen, because she would go back to like when they were at the theater and all the stuff that I never got to learn except what's in a documentary or, stuff like that. So, I've had to go back to the beginning. And especially this week while working on the last 2 weeks while working on the autopsy. And I've learned so much that no one's even talking about, but that still has an effect on the stories they're spinning today. Because there's so much things that's proof, that's factual out there. And it's like it's being forgotten because it doesn't fit a certain narrative. And I mean, I've seen some black-headed girl, she's got beautiful eyes. And she was talking about something the other day about that Nick got in the taxi first, and that Gypsy went and got in the taxi when they were leaving the house and go into the hotel, and that she got back out of the taxi and she went back in the house and then come back. There's no proof of that. So today, when I was watching the rest of the interrogation and the court case, and the taxi drivers were on the stand, they back it up that they both got in, that they sat up there, they both got in the taxi at the same time and said nothing about someone getting back out and going back in. So it's like the proof is out there on some of these crazy stories that they're spinning. And I don't know if they just don't know, or they heard someone else say it, or they just rather tell it their way because there's so much hate for Gypsy. So, and it's no secret that me and Brandy are close to Christy. But we're not going to let...
Pause a second. No politics stuff in my chat. You're trying to distract. We don't do politics. Do not, Millie. Stop. Thank you. Okay, sorry.
But we're not going to let that, if there's something that our opinions is not going to go either direction except the way that we think the facts go. No matter who we care about or who we don't care about, or who we're friends with, doesn't matter. The facts are the facts. And there's some things that I've seen that I've learned today that I didn't know, that come from Gypsy's side, that, it's upsetting because I care, but yet it's the facts. So it is what it is.
And a lot of times when these things pop up, she will run across something and she'll ask. And then I'm like, oh, I forget. She hasn't, I'm an OG. I've been here a while. So I forget she doesn't know these things. And I forget a lot of you guys don't, other than what you've learned through the bigger names that are all in this. And like I told somebody this week, well, Fancy was one of them, a few other people, had I wanted to make a name and be one of these big ass freaking channels, I'd have jumped right in the mud with this case, right? And gone all there. And, I've dipped my toe.
There's enough people making money off this case. I don't want to make money off this case.
But I don't want to, it's just not all I want. I've had people on here for years that are big channels begging me to do this case with them, begging me to talk about this case. And it's just like, and then I always said, if I did it, I was going to do it on my channel, and I was going to do it over here.
And we didn't plan to do this. People kept asking us, would we do it?
We looked at it and we were getting our own opinion of it. And then I've had many people ask, Brandy, can you guys please do this so we can see an unbiased view? Because people know, even though I am friends with Christy and I support Gypsy's story, I don't agree with everything. And then I do find fault with things. So I can be an unbiased view on this. And let me tell you, when we got the interrogation 5 years ago, and Fancy gave it to the team and said, I need you guys to watch this and we need to talk. For me, and Kendall did the same thing when she watched this the other day. She had the same thought process. The whole time I'm watching it, I'm going, okay, Gypsy, now say it. Now, Gypsy, why are you not saying? And she just never did. And it was gut-wrenching.
Abuse. Yeah.
Gut-wrenching. But I also know people in that kind of psychological abuse struggle being able to own the abuse and say, I'm being hurt, I was being this, I was doing, and sometimes they don't even see it as abuse till after the fact. So
That's what I was
it's
telling you about me. I didn't see mine as abuse till I was much older.
right. And
Much
it's,
older.
it is possible. It's possible
I
two
knew it
ways.
wasn't right, but I didn't see it was abuse.
Rebrand, come on, Brandy. Now you know you're lying. There's only one leading expert. Stop it, Rebrand. Rebrand's going to get fussed out like Stevie.
I don't have to get a corner chair. All these girls in the corner.
Stevie says, I personally love the fact that you and Kendall go by the facts you see in front of you and not adding your own spin to things. That is extremely.
Some of them's hard to swallow.
I'm not a
Some of them was
conspiracy
hard to
person.
swallow.
I don't like conspiracy. It gives me anxiety and it makes me angry. I go.
I love conspiracies, but not on a court case. I love
Well,
conspiracies about, are we visited by little green people? You know,
look,
is
Stevie
there an
says,
ancient
Rebrand,
city
you're
under
trying
the
to get me
sea?
put in timeout. Y'all are killing me. Y'all are
I
killing
don't
me.
think conspiracies in a court case, when there's
No.
so much foundation facts, is good for anyone.
420 and I have been around for years together. Her and I have run, in the trauma community, like I talked about. And it's the other day you had asked me, what is the trauma community? It was so funny. 420, she didn't know what the trauma community was. I got to explain it. And that's the problem in the trauma community is they take these cases, most of them current unraveling cases, and they do huge conspiracy with it. To me, in my opinion, that hurts a case. It hurts the integrity of case, and it's not respectful to the victims. And that's my personal opinion. And so when I watched that interrogation 5 years ago, it was really hard to hear Gypsy talk about how you get free trips and how you get discounts and how you do this and how you do that and munching on a sandwich and just being silly when she knows that her mother has been murdered. She knows all of this. And the callousness in that bothered me.
Mm-hmm. It did me too.
And
like I told you the other day, it really bothered me watching her break down when the detective said, your mom has passed. And she does a very, like, if I didn't know the facts of the case, she did a very convincing job of, I mean, she was like just like shaking and couldn't get her breath and her voice was quivering. She was good at pretending to not know. And like I told Brandy, I was like, that was a hard pill to swallow. That hurt that she did it that well.
420 says, Brandy and I have been together since 2018. And once we were enemies and now we truly care about each other. She used to be a ride or die for Cooper. And
really,
she was relentless with me. This girl here, woo, buddy. She took a year where every time we turn around, she was still apologizing. I'm like, stop it. We're fine. Like, she is one of my dearest friends. And it's like, so it's really neat to see how some of us were once truly hateful to each other because of the creators we followed. And once we stopped, once we put our foot down, we were all part of the ass hat brigade. That y'all will hear Natasha talk about the ass hats. That's all of us. And we started putting our differences aside. We really all become to be really good friends. Some of us really close, some just friends. But we saw that we were in echo chambers. And this is probably why I'm so dead set against an echo chamber. We were in echo chambers and we're so brutal to each other that once we stepped out of that, we were ashamed of ourselves. And Kendall and I said this the other day. This is how we felt walking out of the war with Fancy Visco. It was like there were things we said and did we were ashamed of.
Yeah, it turned me into somebody that I'm not.
And
I haven't talked to some of you, but me and Fancy finally had a conversation, and we're never going to be buddies. You know what I'm saying? But it went a lot better than I expected. And I feel like, and not just with Fancy, I feel like all of us, if we just seen each other as humans and not go past a certain point. I mean, you can call someone's lies out, you can call their what you think is their bad behavior out if that's what you want to do. But I think for me, I went too far. And I was embarrassed. I had to step back. I was embarrassed of some of the behavior that I went. I had to apologize for some of my things. And she did me too. So like, you know, like I said, we're never gonna be best of friends, but I'm glad that we've passed that what what is it, that line, that we got past
That
that line,
chapter,
and now
that
we
chapter in the
right.
story. There we go.
And now we've moved on, right? She'll do her thing, we'll do ours. I don't care if she comes in, I will show her respect. I haven't been over on her channel in her chat yet, but there was people over here from her side when she was in
And
our chat, and they
I
were
mean,
very
guys,
respectful to us.
those of y'all that have been here and are this channel, she told me that she liked coming over here because at least you guys were respectful, even though you didn't like her. And so thank
And that
you.
was because y'all respect us, and we
Right.
know that.
Thank you for
We
that,
know that.
because that means a lot to us, knowing that we have earned our chat's respect, to lay down a gauntlet while you're here. And
Right.
and so it meant a lot. But Divergent Crafter, hello and welcome, says, what is your thoughts on the fact that the cops were suspecting they both were defrauding and malingering to get things? I firmly believe that. I do believe that there were things being looked into. I mean, it's obvious there were. This case is not a black or white case. Like, was there malingering happening and defrauding? Absolutely. But was there abuse happening? Absolutely. Was Gypsy in on it? Absolutely. I mean,
Did she know anything else but to be in on it?
absolutely not. You know, it just, and so one thing can be true and so can the other with this case. And that is why this case is, it'll give you gray hair, guys. It just will. So why I've tried to avoid it. Let's see what else we got going on. Hey, Rapid. Oh, looky there. He
My baby's here?
Yes, he says, where does speculation end and conspiracy start in your eyes? Opinion.
I can answer that. I could answer it for me.
Go ahead. Answer it for you. Let me think.
First, speculation. I believe speculation that you take the facts of the case and you can speculate of where those facts may lead you to the answer. Conspiracy, I think, is just throwing everything up in the air and see where it lands this week.
I agree with that 100%.
I think one's based on facts and one is just based on what sounds good.
And an opinion of it. Like, oh, God darn it, this is going to get me in trouble. Okay, I'm going to put this out there. Fancy knows I don't agree with this. So I'm going to use this example. The shed. Her being unalived in the shed, and that's why it was wet, because they unalived her in there, and they put her in a wheelchair and moved her back to the house, and Nick got there, and Nick finished it, and he thought he did it. That, to me, is conspiracy. There's
nothing to back that up.
Absolutely no facts, no evidence that even leads anything close to that. For me, that's conspiracy, not speculation. All right, let's see. What else we got?
And when me and Fancy talked, we did talk a little bit about the case, and she was telling me.
Is Kim G here? Did I miss Kim G? I miss Kim G. Hi, Kim G.
Kim's here?
Yes, I missed her. I was hoping she was here. She's one of them that begged me to do this.
She was talking about the freezer thing, and I said, but one, and I don't mean this mean, but DeeDee was a 5'2", almost 300-pound woman. It would not be no freezer like we would put in our house. And if it was a freezer like we'd put in our house and you could get the door shut, what crane are you going to use to pick her up, right? So you would have to, I mean, you're not just talking about 300 pounds, you're talking about 300 pounds dead weight. So you'd have to have one of those lifts like you lift the elderly up with. And I was going through her way of thinking and trying to say, okay, but how would this happen? And how would that happen? How would they move her? And she said the wheelchair. Well, if they're taking her from the freezer building or wherever that is going to be and putting her in a wheelchair, how, like, who's not going to see that? And she said, well, if they did it in the middle of the night, well, you're still going to see it. There's still going to be marks. And then if you look at the crime scene photos, there's no room where because to my understanding, there was Gypsy's wheelchairs, and then there was one, like, there was the extra, extra large wheelchair. And that wheelchair wasn't going to go through that house as bad as it was. So there's just so many things that don't fit that could have happened at all. And then when you get into the decomp of DeeDee, and we do know that the temperature in the house was at least, what, 65? I mean, it could have been lower, but at least
50s.
6. Yeah,
I think they had it on like 55.
I had to agree with Fancy that, and here's where I'm saying that, there's things I agree with and there's things I don't, but what I did agree with her with is that what was DeeDee's body not broken down more after, 5 days, between 4 and 5 days? There should have been, she had done went through liver mortis, say it, not rigor mortis, liver mortis. Then she went through rigor mortis, and that was starting to decrease because the medical examiner's assistant actually testified on the stand, of which we have the clip of it, that she was coming out of that. So she was just thin. That can happen anywhere from 24 to 36 hours, again, depending on the temperature of the house. So where was the smell? That's what I couldn't figure out. So I did a deep dive into that. And it all, again, depends on the environment. It depends on, like, if there's air circulating.
Let's
definitely the temperature.
Let's catch up with chat, and then let's pull all that up and walk through each thing.
Yeah.
That way let's do that. Nickolas says, I
believe that DeeDee was still abusing Josie. Yeah.
Hold on. Nickolas says, I think illegal activity happened in the shed, but nothing to do with the murder. And I agree with that. I can agree with that. There's speculation, right? We know that the shed's weird, so you can speculate that something happened in there, right? That's a difference between speculation and conspiracy, in my opinion. Where's that other one? Because I want to do
Divergent Crafter is the one that I was reading.
Yeah. Do you feel that DeeDee was still abusing Gypsy in the end with her health as bad as it was? Her health wasn't as bad as they were trying to say it was.
But no, I don't believe she was still abusing her then.
No, I still don't think.
I personally do not. Yeah, I don't believe she was abusing her then.
In my honest opinion, and my speculation is, it is possible that DeeDee had said, we're going to get busted for all of this, and you're old enough that they're not going to believe that you weren't actively participating, and we're both going to jail. I do think that is a possibility.
Yeah, my way of thinking on it was, me and Brandy's had long conversations about this, is I believe that DeeDee had nobody else but Gypsy, right? I mean, she had her community that put her up on that pedestal, and all this attention that DeeDee got for being Gypsy's mom. But once Gypsy was gone, then DeeDee didn't get that glorification that she got from all of her community. But if Gypsy would have left and Gypsy would have walked away, then DeeDee would have been busted right there. And I'm not talking about just legally. I'm talking about everybody that thought she was the mother of a dying child. So not only would she have lost Gypsy, but she would have been found out. So I can imagine, and this is, again, just my beliefs, I can imagine there was conversations that probably went on with DeeDee and Gypsy that had to do with, you can't leave me. You can't leave me. I have nobody but you. What if they find out? I mean, I guess that goes back to speculation, but I can imagine what DeeDee felt like, thinking, I can't keep her a baby anymore.
Right.
She's leaving. She's grown up. I'm losing control, and
Wait,
I'm
oh
going
my
to be
goodness.
alone.
Thank
Oh my
you,
goodness! Thank you,
420. Where did that? I didn't even see that pop up till just now. You have always given clear, concise info some could learn from you. Thank you so much, my love.
Thank
I adore
you.
you. You are amazing.
That's my first super chat.
The first one I got was 99 cents, and I lost my mind. And they were like, "Real?" I was like, "Look, I'm so excited over 99 cents super chat."
It's my first super chat since it's become both of our channels.
So
But
Kim
I don't believe there was no active abuse going on at the time. Maybe some mental stuff because
I think it was so mental. I think that was so ingrained in DeeDee. I don't think she knew any other way to be. And I'm not saying
I think DeeDee was scared to be alone.
Yeah, very much so. So Kim
She's probably
says,
scared of the legal stuff coming, plus to be alone. I mean, that's a lot to swallow. I'm sorry.
Kim says, I struggle this whole case because I have a child with a rare illness, and it took us years to figure out, and I was accused of Munchausen by proxy during our fight for answers. First off, Kim, I am so sorry about that journey. I hope your child is doing better, and you were able to get the answers you needed. And that
Kim, I would love for you to come on one night and talk about that if you're okay with that. I would love to hear that.
I would absolutely love to hear more of her story. I struggle with this because our system is so broken. Like doctors, there's no clear criteria for them to diagnose this illness and this disorder with women.
Most don't get diagnosed.
Right. They don't. And
they want to scream that, the other side does want to scream, oh, she was never diagnosed. Most are not diagnosed unless they are caught in the act or accused and it not be true. I mean, what was that case that we just had last year where that God, what is her name? I want to say Mia, but it's not. Is it Maya? Was it Children's Hospital? Where the mother was accused of Munchausen by proxy.
Oh crap! What was her name?
It's a huge case.
It's on Netflix. What about Maya?
What about Maya? Yeah, and I mean they accused her mother, of it, and her mother ended up taking her life. Her children were taken away, and then it ended up being that the child was really sick.
So Lauren wanted to know what kind of illegal activity in the shed. There are a lot of allegations of drug sales. We don't know that. And that, again, that is where the speculation and conspiracy kind of walk a thin line.
Okay. Oh, I'm not going to agree with that because why would they go to the shed to do a drug deal? That don't make no sense to me. You go to the back corner of your house so nobody can see.
Or hid it in the shed. It could have been put in the shed.
It would have been their medication. So why would they hide it?
Unless they were connected with the drug dealers and all of that and the Comic Cons. I mean, that's where that's why I'm saying the speculation conspiracy kind of collide with that.
Because we have nothing saying that, right?
Right. We don't.
Okay.
We don't. You're right.
It don't make sense to me.
Let's see. What else do we got here before we can kind of dig in and get started?
We even started an hour in and we haven't even started.
Look.
See, this is why we love our community, because our conversations always.
Kendall, you have to tell Brandy I'm not always an asshole. I'm actually sweet.
Stevie, she knows you're in my inner circle, baby. She also knows that your name is Please Be Nice.
Divergent Crafter, and if you go get diagnosed, it takes eons. It took me until I was 40 to find out I have a genetic condition. I agree with that because it took me 49 years. I was 49 when they diagnosed me with ankylosing spondylitis, and what they know about that disease is that most people have signs of it early on in life, but they do other things. Or like they kept telling me I had herniated disc, right? And they're like, you have nothing herniated or compressed or anything in your spine. I don't know why you're saying they told you that. I'm like, I'm just telling you, that's what they told me. I had the steroid shots and that's what they told me. So when I went to the rheumatologist And then I started doing studying up when she diagnosed me. That is what the study is. It is the that they do things with that, like they'll say you have lower back issues or pinched nerves or all of these different things, and it's that disease that they could have been dealing with early on and fighting. And for me, I got to a point where I couldn't walk. Galactinus 81, welcome in, welcome in. Let me get caught up. Okay. It's easy to believe that there is way more to this situation, though, hence the speculating. Absolutely, you're right.
I think this is the case that's never going to end. I don't think it's ever going to end. I don't think we're ever going to know exactly what happened. It is what it is. I
Right.
still believe.
Well,
It
people
is what it
don't
is.
feel like there was a complete enough investigation because Gypsy took a plea deal, and that
Yeah.
pretty much halts an investigation. And it did, but it didn't, right? Because they still had to investigate somewhat on Nick because he didn't take a deal. And she didn't testify against him. She testified for him. So
That was something I seen today too. People running with she testified against me. No, she didn't.
Right.
She got on that stand and said she asked him to do it. She stole the weapon.
Right.
She took the blame for all of it.
So where are we starting with first? What piece did you want?
Did you get the last one I sent you that I said this one needs to go first? Okay, let's play that
Oh,
one.
I can see. Wait,
And
you
then-
said there was, hold on, let me look. Did you?
It'll be clip 8.
Okay, technically that was clip 9 because I had a clip 8 before that.
Okay, sorry.
Did you? Because I texted you and said, you mean clip 9?
Okay, see, I didn't get that. I didn't get that text either. I don't know what's wrong. I think.
So you want that one to go first?
Yeah. Let me explain who
So
he is
do
first.
we want to do the video clips and then talk what the autopsy says and the diagrams?
We'll start with that first video, number 9. Then we'll go to the autopsy and back and forth with the autopsy because there's certain parts in the autopsy I want to reflect to the video where they're actually covering it in case notes or in trial or in the interrogation, and it directly reflects to the autopsy itself.
Okay.
Bear with us, guys. We're learning. We promise we'll get better.
No, this is just going just fine. Quit panicking. Quit it. Okay, let's see. Let me see what other options they offer me to put this up here so that y'all can see it better.
Can you take us off and just make it?
Yeah, and then I can put us back up here when I may have to stay on. Let's see if y'all can hear it. If y'all can't hear, open up your phone. And do you have your phone open to YouTube? That way, when it starts playing, if there's no sound. Look, I am talking to you, expecting you to answer me, and you're not on screen. Okay. Do you have YouTube open to where when it plays, you will can hear if the volume's up?
Yeah, me?
Yeah.
I have YouTube. I have the sound paused. So I always keep mine up because I read the comments on YouTube, not on StreamYard. Okay. I can't see StreamYard. I'm blind, remember? So I never put my glasses on.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm going to
warning, the audio in this first one is bad. It's just, it was court 10 years ago. Audio has come a long way in our courtrooms nowadays, but it's bad. But you're going to be able to hear the parts I want you to hear. You'll be able to make out.
And this is the one with the medical examiner assistant. That one, right?
The medical examiner assistant. He's the one that actually went to see the body first.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to remove her and I from here so it's bigger so you guys can see it better. But I'm going to check and make sure you can hear it. And if you can't, I'm going to throw myself back up there so that the sound plays. All right. So let's try this. Then
I'd like to call your attention to the early morning hours of June 15th of 2015. Will you call out the 2103 West Volunteer Way?
Yes, I was.
Can you describe what initially brought you to that location?
I was called by the sheriff's office with the information that there was a homicide at that location.
When you arrived,
Lead investigator at the
Okay,
scene
I got
got a synopsis of
Sorry.
what was happening, that there was a deceased female, that they had gone into the residence, done their initial observations, but had not touched the body at that point. At that point, we put on protective clothing, a Tyvek suit, boot covers, gloves, photographed the external area of the scene, and then we entered through the front door of the residence.
once you were inside the residence, what did you do?
Took photographs going through of the kitchen, dining area, living room, bathroom, and another bedroom that the door was open, and then started photographing into the room where the decedent was.
And did you later learn her name was DeeDee Blanchard?
Yes.
Once you were in the room where Ms. Blanchard's body was, how did you conduct your investigation?
We start from the doorway, noting the condition of the room, what lights are or aren't on, position of furniture, position of other items around the room, and then work into the body, observing the body in the position found, and with, in this case, the coverings, the bed coverings, covering most of the body.
Did you ultimately observe any injuries?
Yes, as we went up to the actual body, there were several defects which appeared from sharp injury through the back of the clothing. She was laying face down on the bed. Arms were up with hands kind of underneath her face. And there was blood saturating the back of the nightgown that she was wearing, and blood also on the bed.
Once you made those observations, then what was the next thing?
And then once we moved the bedding down, moved the clothing up, we did observe several apparent stab wounds across the upper back.
Aside from the injuries that you've talked about, was there anything else that you could determine about the condition of Ms. Blanchard's body?
Rigor mortis was passing, which takes 24 to 36 hours for rigor mortis to be firm and then start to pass after 24 to 36 hours. Her rigor mortis was passing. Her face and the dependent level of her body, the front, was very dark, and the skin was starting to slip when we moved her body, which is another indication that death had been at least 36 hours prior.
Then did you eventually make arrangements to have Ms. Blanchard's body transported for autopsy?
Yes, we rolled her over.
Okay.
That wasn't supposed to cut off there. So I messed that one up. Let me finish telling you a little bit about what the next probably 5-10 minutes of that's supposed to said. Was he actually goes with the body to the morgue. He helps the medical examiner. He is responsible for weighing the body, which I never believed that he had weighed the body. I believe somebody had said that her license said she weighed 255 pounds. I don't believe she weighed 255 pounds. I think she was closer to 300 pounds. Um, and I'm not going by the bloat of the body. I'm going by the last live video that we have of DeeDee. What, on the 8th? Wasn't it the 8th?
Huh?
I think it was the
Ninth.
8th.
Wait.
The
It was
8th when her and Gypsy was
Yes, that was the 8th. Yes.
okay. So I'm going by that. She doesn't look like 255 pounds to me. She looks like 300. But according to him,
Well,
he
because
weighs the
here's my
body.
thing. I weighed when I started my weight loss journey a year ago. I was 259. Giving away some weight there, guys. I don't think I look that big.
Well, you're also a lot taller though.
No, I'm not. I'm shorter. I'm 5'1". I'm 5'1.5". I'm 5'2". I say I'm 5'2". I'm 5'1.5". I give myself half an inch.
So he says though that he weighed the body, and so that kind of threw that out the window that ever who it was reported that the weight was on her license. I looked at her license. Granted, my eyes are bad, but I didn't see anywhere on her license that said 255. So maybe she did weigh 255. I don't know. But what was the other thing that he had said? And it was so important, and I just literally went blank. It was something that, anyway, go ahead, Brandy. I'll think about it. It'll hit me here in about 15 minutes.
There was a statement up here. Let me go find it. So, Divergent Crafter says, I feel like Gypsy dealt with a narcissistic or borderline mother that led her to expecting being spoiled, i.e., love bombed, then abused, and she became very angry when mom couldn't provide her with her wants anymore. Is the other part of that statement. I agree with you mostly.
That's what I was starting to say. I agree with half of that.
I can't say I don't agree with it because there is a lot of that I do agree with. Because in the end, I have always said DeeDee created her own murderer.
Yeah.
And created, I mean, she created who Gypsy is today. DeeDee is responsible for that in the end. Period. We can say the rest of the family's responsible. We can say the whole family's responsible. We can say Tom, Dick, and Harry are responsible. In the end, DeeDee had full control there. She is responsible.
And I believe that Gypsy was spoiled. I mean, you can look at the house and say that she was spoiled. Spoiled in a sense of a lot of attention, a lot of trips, a lot of materialistic stuff. I believe she
because
missed
in
out
the
on
end, here's the one thing I do know. After I have talked with people in DeeDee's family who were friends with DeeDee, DeeDee liked to be center of attention. Her mama had made her center of attention. She got to do things her siblings had never got to do. Her siblings had to work for their own cars. They had to do chores. They had all of these things they had to do. And DeeDee was never expected to do any of that. And DeeDee was given a car. And she went to concerts and she did all of these things. She got out of going to school. She was at a cheer thing one time and her mom come in and like freaked out and took her home and she had to go to the hospital and lay in bed and all these things. I think this is the generational thing that probably came down from even DeeDee's grandmother. We don't know. We don't. That's the conspiracy speculation part of things.
Right. That's what I was trying to say is I believe she got materialistic stuff. She got trips. She got attention. What I don't believe she got was a normal life. She didn't get to be a normal kid. So, and a lot of people, when they say, oh, she was a spoiled brat, look what all she got to do. Look what all she didn't get to do. Look what all she just did. And we're seeing it today. The child is, and I call her a child because she's my kids' age, but she is still craving this attention from strangers, good or bad. And I mean, and like I said, I love Christy and she knows I feel this way. I believe she's already exploiting this baby just like her mother did her. And being an influencer for what? Being an influencer for what? And I see steps just like her mama did. She was raised in it. She knows no different. She should know different. Therapy should help her know different, but she's right on those same steps her mama did. Same steps. So where does the stopping the generational curse stop? Gypsy's got to stop it, and she's doing a very poor job of stopping it.
All right. What you want
So,
next?
okay, go to autopsy. Let's go to page 1.
I can't find it. Remember, you didn't hear me say that a while ago. I'm sorry. We had it, and I sent it to you, and you had changed it for us
to you.
You did, and I can't find it anywhere.
When did you tell me that? That's like our biggest.
We were talking a while ago. You might have not heard me. It's no big deal. Because I'm literally looking at everything, and it's just not here.
And we even talked earlier about was he gonna put it on the screen? Okay.
Do you have it where you can send it to me real fast?
Yeah. You know, we're gonna get in trouble. We're gonna get in trouble by Chase.
Kick rocks.
We're gonna be in trouble.
It's Johnny's fault.
It's Johnny's fault over the neck. The AI for the neck.
Let's see. While you're looking, I'll read comments. Lauren says, absolutely. Even Rod said he didn't want her trying to meet celebrities and things like that following with how DeeDee was. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And me and Brandy really feel different. I mean, those of y'all that's here often know that we feel different, that Brandy don't have a problem with her being online. I have a big problem with her being online. So I know it's going to be hard for her to get a normal job. I don't even think she has the ability to even understand what life is even about, as far as struggling with money, struggling to make ends meet, what normal people go through when they're expecting their first child, and making sure, you know, all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed, and making sure you're stocked up on diapers, you know, because you know money's going to get tight, you know, and all those kind of things. I don't think she's got no reality check of what us normal people go through. So when she does some of the things that she does online, being able to connect to the normal person, there's no way to connect. It you know, there's just no connection there. And I know she can't go and get a normal job, but a lot of felons have to go get a normal job, you know, and there's things she could do. But I think when reality hits, when the train stops and the money stops and the shows stop, and you know, people just quit handing her stuff, and maybe then she'll get a concept of she needs to break this generational curse thing that has been passed down from DeeDee's side of the family, down, you know, on down to her, because she's just, in my opinion, just.
I'm sending this a different way because this is being stupid and it's ticking me off. Airdrop. Opening it up, and it's literally only letting me do one page at a time. Like,
I mean, that's fine. Yeah, she can break the cycle if she
it's still only doing one page at a time. Big stupid
if she wants
piece
to
of
put
junk.
the work in. But that to me, that's like being an addict. And maybe I'm so off of left field about this, but like you always hear people that are addicts and have gotten sober, that they didn't get sober until they wanted to get sober. It doesn't matter how many times people are hollering at you to quit doing this or quit doing that. And I mean, people sometimes hit their rock bottom and still don't want to get sober. I don't think until they want sobriety, they're not going to work. And I believe it's the same thing with her now, until she wants a real normal life. She is not going to understand she has issues. This baby is not her money ticket. you know, these reality shows is going to it's going to stop one day.
Almost got them all. It's literally making me do one page at a time.
It's going to take a lot of work. A lot of work. And I love her. I mean, I love the kid to death. I want to see her do well. I want her to be better. You know, I want her to see what she's doing, but she's got to realize what she's doing first is not good. That it is just steps that DeeDee took. And then here we are. We're bringing a baby into it, and the baby is going to have a hard time. You know, it's going to be spoiled rotten. Don't worry about. I think she'll love it and adore it, and just, you know, spoil it rotten. But then, not only is it going to have to deal with, you know, her past, which kids has done it before, and, you know, mothers and fathers has changed their life around and been great. But because of what she's doing now, it's going to make that so much harder on the baby. And I tell people all the time, when, like, I'll still leave my Starkey comments. Somebody was saying the other day that they were so tired of hearing gypsy, 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 gypsy. And I said, here's how you fix that problem. You unfollow her. You quit watching her stuff. You quit posting about her, and poof, she goes away. So if you want it to stop, do a blackout and just ignore everything gypsy. But the haters is why she's where she's at. It ain't those of us that love her. It's not those of us that care what happens to her. It's the haters that has built her up to be what she is.
Okay, do you want me to go ahead? Oh, hold on. I'm almost there. I'm opening this up so it'll move smoother once we start sharing them. Oh,
I know that, Stevie. I know that. What I'm saying is, an addict has to want to get better. Gypsy has got to want to break the generational curse and quit thriving on attention.
Okay. I'm ready.
Trauma does change DNA. Absolutely. All right, you ready?
Yes. All right. Let me do this one, and we are going here. All right. Can y'all see that good?
I can't see anything.
What's on the screen?
Up there, okay. It just now popped up. I must be a little bit behind.
Oh, if you're on, what is it called?
YouTube?
If you're on YouTube, yes, that.
I have both up. I just can't see the screen on my phone.
I'm going to try to make this as big as possible so you guys can see it without losing everything. This was sent to me to use, and Kindle took it because the writing in and of itself, the font was really hard to read. So Kindle redid the whole thing. This is identical to the actual report. It's just more legible font.
Yeah, it's word by word. Verbatim.
So, okay. Do you want me to read? Do you want to read?
Except for the misspellings. I did fix the misspellings. There was a lot of misspellings.
You couldn't handle that?
I couldn't handle the misspellings. I can't see it. You're going to have to read them.
Okay. On June 15th, 2015, at the Greene County Medical Examiner's Office in Springfield, Missouri, a postmortem examination was performed on the body of DeeDee Blanchard, an adult female. Now, mind y'all, at the time, they're still spelling her name completely wrong. Drives me nuts. Anyways, the autopsy was performed under the authority of Missouri state law. The examination was conducted by medical examiner Jeff Harkey, MD, assisted by Tom Vandenberg of medical examiner's office, and began at 12:50 p.m. History. Prior to her death, Miss Claudine Blanchard had lived with her daughter in a residence in Springfield, Missouri. After their neighbors reported to the Greene County Sheriff's Office that both women were missing, a search warrant was obtained, and deputies entered the Blanchard residence on June 14th, 2015. Miss Claudine Blanchard was found lying prone in her bed. There were obvious signs of death. No resuscitation efforts were begun. Miss Claudine Blanchard was pronounced dead at the scene at 3:13 p.m. on June 14th of 2015. The Greene County Medical Examiner death investigation was called to the scene and reported that Claudine had incised wounds on the neck and multiple stab wounds on the back and torso. Medical records dated June 2, 2015 indicated that the descendant had a past medical history of asthma, gastroesophageal reflux disease, thyroid disease, diabetes, headache, hyperlipidemia, these words, and endometrial cancer. She had a surgical history of hernia repair, appendectomy, tonsillectomy, hysterectomy, and cholecystectomy. So let me get rid of that one and then go to the next one. Oh, it's the same one, same screenshot.
No, it's not. It's number 2.
Where's it at? Oh, there it is. It kept the other one up that I had. All right. Her prescription medications were not listed in the medical record. It was reported that medications at the scene were collected by the Greene County Sheriff's Office. General observation.
Okay, wait.
Huh? Okay.
All that about the medications that was collected by Tennessee law. Now, I don't know about Missouri. I wish I could get my hands on a handbook for Missouri. By Tennessee law, whether prescriptions are in the body or not, even if she tests negative for everything, Tennessee law, if they are prescribed, they must be in the autopsy, according to the handbook. There is a whole form, and it even on the form itself, it states whether or not yes or no were they found in the body. So her active prescriptions that definitely were collected were not even listed on the autopsy. So we don't even know what she had a prescription
From my
for.
understanding, that is not Missouri law.
Yeah, I like I said, that's Tennessee. I wished I could get Missouri.
And I just put a pretzel in my mouth, and I don't know why, because I'm supposed to be reading. Sorry, guys. My one pet peeve of eating panel, and here I am eating on panel. Okay. The body was received in a body bag that was secured with a tamper-resistant seal, and that was marked with a decedent's identifying information. A medical examiner's identification tag, misspelling, was on an identification the left ankle. The body was that of a well-developed, obese white female whose appearance was consistent with the given age of 48 years. The body measured 5 feet 2 inches in length and weighed 255 pounds. And what we heard in that testimony a while ago is he weighed the body.
Mm-hmm.
The body was received clothed in a white nightshirt with a floral print. There were multiple cuts in the upper back of the nightshirt, and these defects correspond to the position of stab wounds on the back of the decedent's body. The upper front of the nightshirt was bloody, as was all of the back of the nightshirt. There was a religious pendant on the string necklace that was about the neck. Cuts in the necklace correspond to cuts on the back of the decedent's neck. Paper evidence bags were in place over the hands. Prior to further examination of the body, the fingernails were clipped and collected. Oral swabs, vaginal swabs, rectal swabs were collected. Combed pubic hair and pulled pubic hair was collected, and pulled head hair was collected. The clothing, as well as all items of trace evidence, was taken into evidence by the Greene County Sheriff's Office.
Lauren, I don't think Natasha would do that, but yes, this one did not originate from Natasha.
No. No, it did not. All right, so that is not. We would be on page 3. No, we would be.
Yeah, you're on page 3. Oh, I'm not even sure how they're numbered.
I think they're numbered different. I'm just trying to make sure.
Yeah, because probably the cover letter was 1.
And of course, I just got everything out of place because I was flipping through to make sure. Because they are numbered weird, so I just wanted to make sure I hadn't skipped the numbers. And it's Chase, don't you dare fuss at me. It's how it makes me do it. I have no way around that. All right.
Right, I get it, Lauren. I understand. You never know
Hey.
sometimes.
What's that? Would we miss? Oh, about where we got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just taking precautions. Yeah.
Okay, so when we're reading this, are you going to want me to also bring up the diagram?
I mean, you can only start getting into the cuts, but we'll go to a video here soon. I'm just waiting to get to a certain part.
Okay. Evidence of injury. There were 17 stab wounds. And what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to put all of this in members only when we're through. That way members can go in and look at it on their own. And it's all marked. So it's got watermarks on it. People know where you got it. Number 1, there were 17 stab wounds. For purposes of description, the stab wounds are numbered from 1 through 17. And numbering arbitrary and is not intended to indicate the order in which the wounds were received. What I wish they would have done was enough investigation to figure out what wound was first.
I don't know if they could have. Because Nick don't even know which ones was first. His opinion was that the first one he did, he thinks went into the lungs. This is his words. He thinks that it went into the lungs because it was hard to pull out.
Okay.
So I don't even know if he knows.
There are 13, it says upper and middle back, 13 stab wounds. So in the upper and middle back, there are a total of 13 wounds. Behind the top of the shoulder, you know what? I should have uploaded that one picture because I could put it on the screen.
With the AI picture?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you go ahead and do that? And then you can read this off just from your phone.
Pick up on the screen because I can't share it at the same time. But let me. That won't take long.
It might be easier for you to read and
background.
I'll be able to walk them through each.
I want it on an overlay. Let's put it on the overlay. Here we go. Okay. I don't know if this is going to work. Let's see. I don't know why it's not putting the other one there. Boy, it's uploading slow. It's like, dude, you are.
We worked so hard this week to get all this stuff organized. And then we lose it.
It's no big deal. Quit stressing it. You are stressing way more than you need to be. It's fine.
I know. Our people are used to us. So.
Well, and we're not doing anything out of the ordinary, and StreamYard's having difficulties. I said, give it a minute. Of course it is. Of course it is. Okay, read comments. I'm going to go a different direction.
So I'll tell you guys about the AI that she's starting to put up the diagram. Is what I did was I was able to put all the information. I went through each wound. I put in the angle, and by angle, I mean where it went in and where it ended. And the AI will give you the angle, an approximate angle. I mean, she's a bigger woman than, and I was able to put her height and weight in. But are you going to bed, baby? If you want to, I'll move to the kitchen so you can go to bed. Huh? Okay, just a minute. So I was able to put all that information in, and it'll show a specific thing that I haven't seen anyone else pull out of it. So when she gets it up, I'll show you what I mean.
I'm gonna give me 2 seconds.
I've got to move to the kitchen, so it's time for little man to go to sleep. He's got school tomorrow, so I'm being ran out of his bedroom. I'm gonna have to get better at my own internet at the tiny house.
There we go. Now, in doing this, they're not going to be able to see the screen because it is an overlay. But I can just read it. That's fine.
What I did with this was I took the body, and first I put in the organs, and this is the back, not the front. Most diagrams that you find, it shows the front. With this one, I was able to take all the organs, put them in first, and then
Hi, Emily.
put the skeleton on top of that, so you could see where the wounds would actually be hitting on the back. And okay, I'm moving to the kitchen before I get in trouble. Go ahead, Brandy. I'm sorry.
Okay. So, and I'm not going to, with that as an overlay, guys, I'm not going to be able to make that bigger for you guys to see it. I will try to point out where we're talking about. And that's frustrating that it won't let me.
Yeah, it's not that clear.
No.
I'll have to figure out something to make that better next time.
Well, it's because I had to make it bigger for the thumbnail purpose. Let me try this. Let's try this. Hold on. I would rather than be able to see it stretched out and me just read from the autopsy report. They've seen that what we have. Let's try that and see how that works. Because I would much rather than be able, I can expand it.
Right. Hey, give me love. You have a good day at school tomorrow.
No problem.
I love you.
Night, Mason.
Brandy said night, Mace. Brandy said good night. He said good night.
Okay, hold on. Let me. Dum, you gotta remove that. Okay. So, will you be able to pull up and I can do it from my phone.
Do what, Brandy?
Got it. So, the first one we're talking about is this one right here, guys. This is number 1. It's right here. And it's not the first one that happened. Remember, that's what they said. They're just in numerical order. But that doesn't mean that that was the very first blow. But it is behind the top of the left shoulder, orientated longitudinally. Like I am going to be able to say these words. Y'all making fun of Fancy. Y'all going to be making fun of me. 1 inch on the skin surface. The center of the wound is 8.5 inches below top of the head and 4 5/8 inches to the left of the posterior midline of the body. Sharp upper end and sharp lower end. Wound direction is back to front. Wound track is 3 1/8 inches deep, passing through skin, fat, and muscle, ends on the posterior surface of the left upper rib.
So it barely touches the rib, but it went where it went and where it ended. It was almost exactly a 45-degree angle. So remember that as we go
Okay,
through
Lauren
all of
had a
those.
comment. Let's see.
Remember that as we go through all of the ones on the left side, that almost all of them on the left side are at a 45 that go in the body at a 45-degree angle.
Okay, hold on.
Approximately.
Lauren had a comment. Which comment? 420. Stevie, it sure is. It's working out well for her on both the supporters and the haters. Okay. Missouri just tested for substance of abuse, which misses a ton of different medications that she could have been on. Exactly. Missouri, all they tested was to see if she had barbiturates, cocaine, marijuana, alcohol, those kinds of things in her system. They did not test for regular medications. Lauren says, because I don't know which comment 420 is asking about. Has anyone else gotten the autopsy? I think you addressed that one, didn't you?
I did.
Okay. Natasha ain't gonna share nothing with me, Lauren. And I'm not even sure exactly the person who gave this to me, how they got it, but I have it. Let's see if there was another one. I don't. Okay. Okay, I think I got them all. All right, so now let's go to.
Okay. I need you to play a video.
Okay, we're going to a video now.
Is it going to be hard to flip
No.
back and forth?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean it's
Okay.
all a little work, but it's just literally doing this number. Which video do you
Okay.
want?
I need you to go to. Hang on.
Was it number 1?
No, hang on.
Did you lose your place? Did I lose you altogether? I think we lost her. Kendall. Kendall. We lost her. I don't know where she's at, guys. Okay, there you are.
I think my earbud went dead.
Oh,
Do number 1.
okay. I was like, where'd she go? Now I've got to figure out where it goes on my computer.
And what kind of things would Gypsy tell you that she wanted you to do?
She wanted, the thing is that I know she loves her mom a lot. I know she does.
Yeah.
I had, I was up here with her, and she felt guilty about the whole situation. I had to make sure she was safe. And meaning, like, I had to make sure she felt like she could be comforted by
you. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because, and then the truth is, okay, I'll admit it. I did actually stab her mom. I will admit it.
I know. Okay.
The only reason I did it is because I did it for me and her. That's the real reason I did it. I would have never did it if it was not for me and her.
Okay. So you wouldn't have done it if somebody else would have asked.
No. There's
Okay.
no way I would have did for anyone else.
Okay, so you just
So I
did it.
truly do worship her to the point there's nothing I want to do for her.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think you've proved that, right?
Yes.
I think that you proved that you do what she asked you to do, if that's the case, if she did ask you.
Yeah, she did ask me.
Okay, and she asked you more than once? Did she ask you while you were here?
She asked me more than once because
So I probably need to do a disclaimer just to make sure YouTube doesn't get their panties in a wad. This is under fair use for commentary and educational purposes.
what happened was, at first she wanted, because the thing is that she wanted to do it herself, but she was too, what's the word, not cautious, it's, I guess skittish is the word I'm looking for.
Okay.
She didn't want to actually do it.
Okay.
Because she couldn't live with herself doing it.
Okay.
And, as for, me, I honestly, to this day, I still feel guilty about it.
Okay.
I do.
Right.
Because I learned so much about her mom after she told me and more about it after actually being able to live with her for a while.
Right.
I actually realized how great of a mom she was.
Okay, so it kind of makes you feel a little guilty.
No. I feel a lot more guilt than that.
Okay. So Gypsy's telling you about her mom.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah, how
Okay.
she is and her accomplishments and all, yeah.
Okay. So when you came here to Springfield, that was your purpose to come here so that way you could do that for Gypsy?
Yes, because I wanted to be with her and I
Okay.
wanted...
So did Gypsy know you was coming here then to go ahead and kill Dee?
Yes.
Okay. So why did you guys decide that you would stab her instead of shooting her with a gun or poisoning her or beating her with a bat? Like, why did you guys decide stabbing would be what you did to kill her?
Honestly, the thing is we really wouldn't have known how to poison her. Honestly, we wouldn't have known how to.
Okay.
I mean, she looked up multiple times of how to do it because she wanted to find the quickest way to do it.
Okay, so like she looked up on the internet,
Yes.
like how to kill her mom?
Yes.
Okay. And so she was looking for the easiest way to do it?
Yes, this
Okay.
way she would be in less pain. She wanted
Okay.
her mom's death to be quick.
Okay, so you wouldn't have known how to do the poisoning. And so, again, why did we choose the knife? Like, why
The
did
reason
you...
why we chose the knife is because I guess she thought that it'd be quicker if she bled out quickly.
Okay. Now, did she tell you that, or is that something you think she thought?
Most likely that's what I would think she would
Okay,
think.
but she didn't tell you to
No.
stab her because she'd bleed out quickly?
No.
Okay,
That's what I figured she would think because it makes sense. More holes, faster they go away and the faster they are at peace.
okay. So the more holes you put into the body?
Yeah.
Is that what I'm understanding? Okay, okay. So, so that's why you chose to stab her?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that not so sad?
When you listen to these two talk, this is why I get frustrated. There is no way these two are masterminds of any kind of big criminal activity.
So what he's saying is after Gypsy left with him and they had that time of just being on the run, pretty much, going to Nick's house, they both were, well, she was probably grieving and remorseful, and it sounds like they had a lot of conversations about DeeDee's accomplishments and the good side of DeeDee, because he strictly says he realized more that DeeDee was a good mom since him and Gypsy's been talking after the fact. So everybody wants to, paint her as cold-hearted. And I get it. It's awful. But they talked about her. He even talks about how he wanted her to know that he could comfort her.
All right, so number 2. is going to be this one right here, which is pretty close to the spine. It's right here. And it says center of the upper back, orientated somewhere transversely, 5/8 inch of the skin surface. Center of the wound is 11 1/4 inches below the top of the head and 5/8 inches to the left of the posterior midline of the body. Sharp left, superlateral end of the sharp inframedial end. Wound direction is back to front. Wound track is 1.5 inches deep, passes through skin, fat, and muscle. This one was.
It wasn't a kill shot.
It was superficial, very superficial, considering the rest of them.
There's a bunch of them.
The next one is this one right here, which looks to be a pretty big sucker. It says left side of the upper back. Get to the next page. Orientated obliquely 1 3/4 inches on the skin surface. Center of the wound is 11.5 inches below the top. Wait, is that the other one? No. 11.5 inches below the top of the head and 4 3/4 inches to the left of the posterior spine of the body. Sharp left, superlateral end of the sharp intermedially end. Wound direction is back to front, left to right, and downward. Wound track is 5 inches deep through the skin, fat, and muscle of the chest wall to where it penetrates into the left chest through the muscle of the third left intercostal space.
The intercostal space is the space between the ribs where a doctor puts the stethoscope so he can listen to your heart.
Perforates the upper edge of the lower lobe of the left lung at the oblique fissure, then perforates the interior portion of the upper lobe of the left lung, perforates the posterior wall, and the pericardial sac perforates the posterior wall of the left atrium of the heart next to the mitral valve. That was a serious wound, guys.
That was the one that I think, if I had to guess which one was first, if I was guessing, I would say that one, because he talks about one of them that went so deep that he had a hard time getting it out. The detective asked him, did you have to use 2 hands to get it out? And he said no. And then he does an animated thing, and he takes his hand and like tries to jiggle his hand like he just had to wiggle it out. That went through a lot. And because that blade was jagged, when it come out, it's not going to come out as smooth as it went in, because the ribs is going to hang on the jagged part.
I would be willing, because he does say that she says, "Who are you, Gypsy? Help me." Those things. I don't know that this one would have been first, and here's why. I think that when this one happened is when she could no longer fight because she was drowning in her own blood. I think her lungs began to fill at this point. My opinion. That's
a good point. That's a good point.
Strictly my opinion, because that's the
she
one
did
question
try to fight.
Right. And that's the one question we have about the crime scene. Why is there not more blood thrown around the room with her fighting him? Because she's not just going to lay there. I think there would have been maybe 1 to 2. She's screaming and hollering. He hits there, and it's pierced the heart area and the lung. And it probably, in my opinion, is what kept her from fighting anymore.
Well, all this going around that she didn't fight him back. She did. She did try to. She don't have no defensive wounds, but she did, to the best of her ability.
Look, us big girls have a hard time getting up when we're over on our belly. We're not just like jumping up like you're gonna think.
Yeah, well, one of the clips that you're gonna play, he talks about how, she come at him and grabbed a hold of him. So do 2 more and then play number 2.
Okay, so number 4 is this one right here, and it goes along right here and is right on top of the spine.
It's a little bit. This is the one I got wrong, that the AI screwed up that I was so petty about, that I bitched about for 2 days to you. It's actually 3/4 to the right of the spine. The
So
A, I
it would
just put it in the
be
wrong spot.
it would be a little more right here
Yeah.
to the
This
side
was
of
the
it.
one that I was so upset about.
So center of the upper back, orientated somewhat longitudinally. That is just not even a word. 7/8 inch of the skin surface. Center of the wound is 11.5 inches below the top of the head, 5/8 inches to the right of the posterior midline of the body. Blunt upper end and sharp lower end. Wound direction is back to front. Wound track is 1.25 inches deep, passes through skin, fat, and muscle. So that one's not too, I mean, I hate to say not too big of a deal, but you know.
And again, the one that you did a while ago that went through everything, the direction of it is almost again 45-degree angle, approximately, but it's
Well,
really close. The
if you
2
look at
deep
the
ones go
angle,
in 45-degree angle.
if you look at the ankle of this fits left-handed going down, and it would have gone right through there,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion. So number 5, it's right here. It's a little diagonally over the spine. Center of the upper back, orientated obliquely, 1 inch of the skin surface. Center of the wound is 13 inches below the top of the head and 3/4 of an inch to the right of the posterior midline of the body. Sharp left superomedial end and blunt inferolateral end. I'm going to have good scientific words down by the time I'm through with this. Wound direction is back to front, slightly left to right, and downward. Wound track is 2 3/4 inches deep as it passes through the skin, fat, and muscles of the chest walls and enters into the right pleural cavity through the muscles of the right fifth intercostal space next to the spine, from where the wound track continues for another 3 inches, perforates the lower lobe of the right lung. Wound is 5/8 inch in length on the posterior surface and 1/4 inch in length on the anterior surface. Then perforates the right side of the diaphragm and penetrates into the posterior portion of the right lobe of the liver. This was a serious, serious wound to be so small.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Play the next video.
And that's going to be clip 2.
Yep.
Let me remove.
These videos just give us an insight of his thinking.
So you didn't bring a knife from here?
No.
So when you got here, she had a knife?
Yeah.
So did she know you was going to stab her?
Yes.
Okay. So what'd the knife look like?
It had a red and black handle.
Red and black?
Yeah.
Okay. And how long was it?
Gosh, I don't even know.
Use your hands to show me.
I can, maybe that long, maybe.
Was the red and black handle plastic or wood or?
It was, I'm trying to think, squishy grip, I can't remember what it's called.
It was a squishy grip?
Yeah, it's hard to really put into words.
Okay. On the edge of the knife, like, can you draw the knife for me maybe?
I'm a bad artist.
You're a bad artist? Okay. Would the knife, if the knife went was the knife smooth like this or was it jaggedy like that?
It was jaggedy.
Jaggedy?
On one side, on the other side it was smooth.
Okay. And what color was that part of the knife?
It was just the black. Oh my gosh. I am so sleepy.
That's all right.
It was just the normal color of what blade usually looks like.
Like stainless steel type look? Okay.
Yeah.
So see this edge of this table right here? Kind of like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what that looked like. And then the handle was red and black, kind of squishy.
Mm.
Okay. Could you hold the knife with one hand or did it take 2 hands to hold the knife?
One hand.
One hand?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever stabbed anybody before this?
No, that's the reason why this was the very only one person I would ever do this for.
Okay, only person you do it for is Gypsy. This is the first time you ever stabbed anybody.
Yes.
Okay.
Do I need to play the next video too? Or
Yeah, go ahead and play number 3. That he says there, one hand. And there's
file.
conspiracies going around that he he had to use 2 hands, and or there was two people.
Right. Welcome to all those that have come in and joined us. And SL Connolly asked a while ago if you were kidnapped, by the way.
If I was kidnapped?
Yes, SL Connolly thought you were kidnapped.
Oh. No, just
So
ran out
when
of my
you're
grandson's
stabbing
room.
Dee, where is she at?
She's on her stomach.
On her stomach where? On the floor, in the bathtub, or somewhere different?
On her, on the, oh my gosh. I gotta let my mind work. Oh, I have 1 second.
You're fine. Take your time.
He's so tired.
She was on the bed. Her bed.
Her bed. In her bedroom?
Yes.
Okay. So was she sleeping on her stomach or just laying there watching TV or?
Sleeping on her stomach.
Okay, so she's laying in her bed sleeping on her stomach. Is she covered up with covers or uncovered or?
It actually, when I did it, it seemed like, she had her, there's almost like a nightgown on, it seemed like.
Okay.
And, she barely even was covered at all.
Okay.
So, it
Okay.
was easy access for everybody.
Okay. So she didn't have a bunch of covers on her. It made it a lot easier to do that. Okay. And so when she's laying there, where's the first place you decide to stab her?
And, I just was in a random spot in the back.
In the back, just random.
Yes.
Oh, buddy. All right.
So he, all of this about her being moved to the bed. He says she was laying in her bed on her stomach, which I also questioned because, being big chested and a bigger girl, it's harder. I can't sleep on my stomach.
Oh, I could.
So I'm surprised
yeah.
that she sleeps on her stomach or slept on her stomach. But if you want to believe Nick, she was asleep on her stomach. Okay. I guess
Okay.
two more wounds.
Okay, so number 6 is right here. And it's right on the side of the spine. And it's the center of the upper back, orientated somewhat longitudinally, 1 5/8 inch of the skin surface. Center of the wound is 13 1/4 inches between the top of the head and 1 3/4 inches to the right of the posterior midline of the body. Sharp left supermedial end and blunt in. Oh, I hate this word. Infralateral end. Wound direction is back to front. Quit laughing at me. And downward. Wound track is, look, at least I'm not pretending to know these words. Okay.
I started to rewrite it and write it in like lay terms.
Wound track is 2.5 inches deep as it passes through the skin, fat, and muscle of the chest wall. Enters into the right pleural cavity through the muscles of the right 6th intercostal space next to the spine, from where the wound track continues for another 1.5 inches as it penetrates into the posterior surface of the lower lobe to the right lung. It's another pretty serious dang wound. All right, number 7, right here below, goes right into that lung, and you can see there's the lung right there, the bottom part of the lung. Center of the middle back has 2 components, making it somewhat, is that supposed to be, L-shaped. Longitudinal portion is 3/4 inch of the skin surface, and transverse portion is 1/2 inch on the skin surface. Center of the wound is 16 1/4 inches below the top of the head. and 2 5/8 inches to the right of the posterior midline of the body. Sharp at both ends. Wound direction is back to front. Wound track is 1 3/4 inches deep as it passes through. The skin, fat, and muscle of the chest wall enters into the right pleural cavity through the muscles of the right 9th intercostal space next to the spine, from where the wound track continues another 1/8 of an inch as it penetrates into the posterior surface of the lower lobe of the right lung. Whew, these wounds, guys.
Okay, play next video.
Remind me which I'm on 4.
I'm thinking, yeah, on 4. I think this
Well,
is the one
gonna
where he
have to
talks about.
the
No, I
clip.
mean, is it 5?
No, 4. I think we're on 4. Let's see. This ain't it. Tell me I'll stop and go to 5.
Mhm.
Okay. And so when she's laying there, where's the first place you decide to stab her?
And I just was in a random spot in the back.
In the back, just
It'll
random.
be the
Yes.
next
Do you
clip.
know how many times you stabbed her?
Did we already do this one?
I'm pretty sure.
I lost count of my clips. Sorry, guys.
Did she scream or holler or
Yeah, she did.
what was she saying?
First she said help, and then she didn't recognize who I was. And she
Okay.
said, who are you? And then,
She said, "Who are you?"
yeah,
Okay. And she didn't recognize who you are. And she says help. And then what does she say?
and then she called up for Gypsy, but Gypsy didn't do anything.
Okay. She hollered for Gypsy.
Yes,
And did she holler for Gypsy once, twice, 5 times,
3 times.
3 times? And what was she saying? Can you tell me how she said it?
She pretty much yelped it.
Yelped it?
It's like,
Gypsy. Okay.
yeah, she was loud.
And what did you do when she did that?
It didn't stop me from keep on going.
Okay. You just kept stabbing her?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any reason that we would think that maybe you stabbed her more than 4 times?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Now, did Gypsy come in and stab her?
No.
Gypsy never stabbed her?
She couldn't do it. That's
Okay.
the reason why she asked me to.
Okay. Did you try to get Gypsy to come in and stab her?
No, I would have never done that.
Okay. So when you say 4 actual stabs, so those are the ones that went in deeper?
Yeah.
Was there some little ones? Or
There might have been, because the truth is I counted the ones that went in deep. I didn't count if there's any other ones.
okay. So if there's any other ones, you just didn't count those because they didn't go in as deep.
Yeah,
Okay. But you know that 4 of them went in deep.
yeah.
Okay. Do you know where those 4 deep ones were? Are you counting the one in the back of the neck or not in that 4?
No.
Okay, so the back of the neck would be something different.
Yeah, it's completely separate.
Okay, so the 4 that went in deep, do you remember where those went at on her body?
I honestly can't remember because I think it's just a blockage because of the guilt.
Okay.
Because of the guilt. So there again, he talks
always-
about.
Go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead.
This is just, then again, he talks about, she said help. Who are you? And called out for Gypsy 3 times. So she definitely wasn't dead when Nick got there.
Well, and not throwing shade. Good God, please don't get pissed off and be screaming at me, Fancy. This is why there was no recording of her calling out to be played because she was already deceased. There was no way that she was murdered elsewhere and brought back or murdered before he got there. This was a planned out, and Stevie asked how many days in advance before the murder did Gypsy steal the knife. I don't remember.
I don't know that I've ever known that answer. I'll try to find out.
I have, and I don't remember. And I apologize. I should have double checked that numbers. Those are the things that I don't think about it anymore because I don't know why. I can't explain why I don't even think about having those answers.
Yeah, I wished I knew as much as you have forgotten.
It's not a fun place. So, did he forget because of guilt, or did he forget because of rage? Forget because of rage.
Well, it had to be traumatizing to him too.
Right. And trauma, you will forget the trauma. It is hard to remember trauma.
I mean, yes, he did it. It was a vicious, evil. I mean, it's mutilated her, but it still had to be trauma to him.
Right, Galactinus. And we would have to go by word of when it was taken. I want to say it was a week to 2 weeks, but I do not remember exactly.
That would just have to be her word of it too.
Right. And that's why.
And we don't know,
because she does lie. She has lied. So I don't know. But I mean, they planned this for a long time. This wasn't something that was just planned within a few months. This was planned over a long period of time. Sadly. All right. So we are now at number
8.
Phone back up. Now, I wish my phone would cooperate with me and just leave it where I was at when I closed it out. But
we still have a lot.
We do.
So we might end up having to do a part 2 of this.
Okay. And I'm good with that.
We have another couple of hours.
Right.
So there's no way we can do that long on this.
Right. Yeah, because we've been on for 2 hours.
Well, we talked an hour before we even got started.
I know.
We do that every time.
All right. So
that's a very good point, Lauren.
What did Lauren say? Possibly
not rage.
Possibly due to no experience murdering and kept fucking up in his mind because she wasn't dead yet. So kept stabbing repeatedly, plus neck wound. I don't know. That's a very good point.
He also made a comment about he did the neck trying to kind of put her out of her misery.
Yes, 420. Her head was almost severed off. It is a very deep wound to the neck.
It doesn't show that it was almost severed off, though.
I mean, it was deep.
It's very deep, but
let me reword that then. In my opinion, it was nearly severed because it was almost. It was bad. It was just.
It almost got to the bone, but it didn't even touch the spinal cord.
I have the pictures. I'm not putting the pictures up out of respect for the family.
It's a deep wound, but she also had a very fatty neck, and it's a lot of. It goes through a lot of the fat, but it doesn't even get to the spinal column.
When you look deep at that picture, that shows it differently than that.
Autopsy says different.
But to this comment from Lauren,
it's through the skin and the fat. She just had a very fatty neck.
These two were so inexperienced in this kind of criminal activity that's why I do not believe anybody else was involved. They were not crafty enough to pull it off and there not be more evidence. I mean, the trail leads right to them without them even posting on Facebook like they did. They're just not experienced killers. They're just not. I think that they thought, and he's saying stabbing because she bleed out quickly, and that's kind of what he was thinking, that Gypsy was thinking. That just shows how inept they both were. Had they done a poison, this would just been an easy kill, right?
Well, they've watched too many movies. Stab wound, person goes down and they die. And real life isn't that easy. In the fantasy
world that they both lived in. So it just is ridiculous that anybody can think it's any different. It's just frustrating.
Yeah. Okay, what one are we on?
We're on number 8. Okay. Which is this one right here. Goes right up here at the top. Oh, and my phone did it again, motherfucker. Sorry. I just dropped an MFR bomb. Stupid phone.
Sounds like me talking to Johnny earlier.
My phone that time. Oh, Sam heard me. Sam's at her squawking. You know what? I didn't go feed them. I'm in trouble by the geese brigade out there.
Do you want
Okay,
to start part 2 with the other side of the body?
we can. Do y'all want to do part 2 where we start this side?
That'll give me time to finish the neck since the other little MFer messed it up today.
We can.
Because we've already been 2 hours.
We can do that. I mean, it's. Are you ready for tomorrow night? Or tomorrow afternoon?
If we start 6 my time, I
Okay.
can do it tomorrow night because I got to be at work the next morning at 3:30 in the morning.
Okay.
So if we start 5 o'clock your time, 6 o'clock my time, we can do part 2 tomorrow night if everybody's good with that.
Okay.
I'm afraid we're going to lose everybody. We keep going on 3 and 4 hours.
Right. Well, my brain starts getting tired.
We put a lot of work into this to lose everybody.
I've got to get some house cleaning done tomorrow, and I've still got some stuff to do tonight because trash comes, and I didn't take trash out today. And Tuesday I am busy, and Wednesday I'm doing Kendrick Lee. So yes, let's do tomorrow, 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern. And
like I said, that'll give me time to finish the neck and more detail to show how it really was. It looked bad, but it really was just fat.
Yeah.
Have y'all this is awful, but when I was going through chemo and I was bald, and us bigger girls, we have fattier necks and fatter heads. My grandson walked up behind me one night, and he had gotten a birthday card, a birthday debit card.
Thank you, Lauren. We appreciate that.
And I was sitting on the step, and he was just playing, running around me, and I felt something on the back of my neck, and I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "You've got a credit card. I can slide my credit card on your back of your neck."
How dare he?
I was like, "You little asshole." So I must have a little fat roll on my head that I didn't know I had, but when I was bald,
I did have I'm so embarrassed, guys. I was watching an old video of mine so I could get ready to do one of my Kendrick Lee videos because I'm doing an update on his case. And I went back to watch what I had shared then to kind of refresh my mind and get back into the case. And I'm looking at myself on camera and I'm like, oh my God, I'm 420. I should kick you. Why didn't you tell me how big I was getting? Now that I'm in this, I've lost so much weight and I look at different pictures and I'm like, oh my God. Ugh. Like but the problem is with that, I now have wrinkles and weird, they call it Ozempic face when you start losing the weight on these meds. But I have wrinkles, guys, and I've never had wrinkles. But I had a fat face before, so no wonder
I can't lose because they still have me doing steroids once a month. It's like I don't even eat that much. I'm just like everybody that's overweight. It's not because they feed their face.
Right.
Kids are brutal.
Well, I just couldn't.
Kids are brutal.
Mine for one is hormones. When you start going into menopause, that will fuck your system up.
I'll say they had me on hormone blockers because my type of cancer was hormone fed. So they had me on hormone blockers plus steroids because I've only got one kidney. So plus I'm 50.
I have no thyroid, and your thyroid, guys, just know your thyroid affects everything in your body. Everything.
If you're tired all the time, you don't have no energy, get your thyroid checked.
If you're having temperature issues, where you're cold or you're hot, check your thyroid. Your thyroid controls all of your hormones. If you're fighting depression and anxiety, have your hot thyroid looked at. It controls all of that shit.
And while we're talking about it, October's coming up. Get the boobies checked.
Yeah, I need to go have mine. Yeah, y'all, I've never had a mammogram.
Don't put it off.
I have never had a mammogram.
I was clear 1 year, and the next year I was in stage 3. 2020, nothing. 2021, stage 3. It can be fast.
Oh, wow.
Can be very fast. So, all right, girls. I appreciate y'all's support. Y'all have been amazing. 420, thank you for the super chat. You about made me cry. It's our first one.
Absolutely adore our channel. Somebody said I didn't have a following and I laughed at them. It's fine. They were just mad.
Like I said, I don't even care if we get thousands. I love the girls that we've got.
I'd
rather keep the ones we've got than any fakeness.
I have worked for the last couple of years and now Kendall is with me and I have strived to build a steady, slow, small group that builds to what we need to build to.
And I love it that y'all were here, and it's not because of drama.
Right.
Stevie
and Brand getting us in trouble with drama over there.
I love that girl.
And we're gonna make a funny video that when they act up, I can play it just for them. We're gonna make that's the goal for this week. But we'll see you guys tomorrow, 5 Central, 6 Eastern, and we should have about another 2 hours worth of this. We can get knocked out.
Yeah,
and,
2 hours will do it. 2 hours will do it.
And then what I will be doing is taking all the things that we show and putting it into members only. And I may do something with the video clips. That'll take a little bit longer in the week to get done. And I'm going to try to get all done because David's supposed to be home this weekend. Like, you're supposed to be gone a whole nother week. And he says, oh, they're supposed to release me Friday. I'm like, I needed you gone one more week, dude. I mean, I love him, but geez.
And those of y'all that's not members, if y'all want a copy of the autopsy, just email
us.
me. I'll send it to you.
Yeah. So, alrighty, guys. Thank you all so very much for tonight.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
And we will see y'all tomorrow. I need to work on our closer and put
our what?
Put the closing thingy that I do.
I know. I've got to get some AI stuff up, so we got to open it and closer.
But did y'all? Oh, look, y'all! I did make this. Hold on, I have to add this. Hold on. Can y'all see it? You see a little chick? Oh, wait! Was supposed to do that? Oh, we are small. Dang it! Little moving chickens I made for a background.
Kim G, you are not the problem.
You is not the problem. You never give me issues. Ever. It was a new person. They came in, they got a membership, and then wanted to be ugly because things weren't. People are just mad that we don't want to be in the drama. And that's fine. Go be mad. Go find the drama channels and have fun over there. That's all I got to say.
Hey, drama's interesting. I enjoyed it while I was there. It just turned me into a
not
mean
that
girl.
we won't have some. We may, there may be times.
Yeah, there's one I'm biting at the bit to go after.
You may get that very soon.
But it's only because I love Brandy. It ain't none of that other drama.
Oh, I'm just giving respect to the other people involved. But
right.
As soon as that's finished, I've already said I'm pulling the trigger. So, and I probably
girls.
In that term, somebody will be taking that all drastically. I'm not threatening to kill nobody. So, alrighty, guys, y'all have a good night, safe week, and we will see y'all tomorrow evening.